There are places in Ireland that most people pass every day and never truly notice. They drive past them, they walk by them. Sometimes they glance once, and then they forget. A shape on a hill, a broken wall in a field, something that doesn't quite belong to the land anymore. In daylight they are only ruins, stone and shadow against the sky. But at night they feel different. Not louder, not darker, just heavier. As if the air settles around them and refuses to move. Old places do not disappear when they are abandoned. They remain. Wind moves through them, rain falls inside them, grass grows where rooms once were, and still they remain. People often say these places are haunted, but rarely because they have seen something. It is not about seeing, it is about feeling. A silence that lingers a moment too long, a pause where there should be nothing, the strange sense that the place remembers something you do not. Ireland is filled with places like this, not grand castles, not landmarks from postcards, just structures left behind, houses that emptied, walls that cracked, stones that outlived the hands that placed them. Walk long enough through the countryside and you begin to notice them. A road that bends without reason, a gate that opens to nothing, a shape on a ridge that does not match the horizon. Locals do not speak about them in dramatic ways. They do not need to. They simply say there is no reason to be there after dark. Tonight we begin on one of those hills. It overlooks Dublin. In daylight, it is only stone. After sunset, it becomes something else. The road that leads toward the Hellfire Club does not feel unusual at first. It curves gently through the lower slopes of the Dublin mountains. Trees lean over the narrow path. Houses grow fewer. Streetlights disappear one by one. And then, without warning, the city feels far away, even though it is still there. The building itself stands on Montpellier Hill. From below it looks small, almost ordinary, a simple stone structure against open sky. In daylight, hikers pass it without hesitation. Tourists take photographs. Dogs run through the grass around it. There is nothing dramatic about it. No towers, no gates, no visible sign that this place carries a reputation that has lasted for centuries. But the hill changes after sunset. Wind reaches the top before you do. It moves differently there, stronger, colder, as if the ground is exposed to something unseen. From the summit, Dublin stretches below in quiet lights. Cars move in distant silence. The city feels separate, almost unreal, and the building stands alone above it. The Hellfire Club was built in the early 18th century. Originally, it was not meant to be mysterious. It was constructed as a hunting lodge, a place for men of status, a place for gatherings. But history rarely leaves places untouched. The group that later met there became known as the Hellfire Club, a name that still echoes in every retelling. They were said to be wealthy men, politicians, landowners, figures of influence. Stories describe heavy drinking, blasphemous rituals, mock ceremonies. Some accounts speak of wild parties that lasted until morning. Others suggest darker practices, invitations extended to strangers, games played with unknown outcomes. One of the most repeated legends tells of a mysterious visitor, a stormy night. The door forced open by wind, a stranger entering the lodge. He was said to have joined their card game, silent, calm. It was only when someone dropped a card beneath the table and bent to retrieve it that the story changed. The guest, they claimed, did not have human feet, only hooves. The stranger vanished soon after. The men were left alone with their fear. It is easy to dismiss such tales. Storms distort memory. Alcohol alters perception. Time reshapes stories into something larger than truth. And yet, the legend survived. The original building burned down not long after those early gatherings. Some say it was an accident. Others say it was deliberate. The structure that stands today was rebuilt upon the same stone. Rebuilt, but not renewed. Local folklore insists that the hill was never meant for comfort, that it had older uses before the lodge was constructed. Some claim an ancient passage tomb once stood there, disturbed, moved, used as foundation stone for the lodge. If that is true, then the building rests on something much older than itself, something already claimed by time. Standing inside the ruin today, you can see straight through broken windows. The roof is gone, the sky is part of the interior, the walls remain thick and unwelcoming. Stone absorbs sound. Even footsteps feel muted. Visitors often describe the same sensation, not fear, not panic, but awareness, as if the space is observing quietly, waiting. There are no official warnings about the hill at night, no barriers that forbid entry, and yet, after dark, it grows empty. The path becomes harder to see, the wind grows sharper, the city lights below begin to flicker in the distance, and the building no longer feels small, it feels elevated, not only above the city, but slightly apart from it. People still walk there after sunset, curious couples, groups of teenagers, urban explorers. Some go for thrill, some go to test the stories. A few return with something they cannot fully explain. They speak of cold air that moves against the wind, of footsteps that do not match their own, of the sensation that someone stands just beyond their vision. Nothing dramatic, nothing easily proven, just small disturbances, small enough to question, large enough to remember. And that is how the hill keeps its reputation. Not through spectacle, but through suggestion. The Hellfire Club does not shout. It does not threaten. It simply remains, high above the city, watching the lights below. If you'd like to hear more, the full audiobook, Shadows of Ireland Tome 1, is available at the link in the description below.